Alright everybody, so it's time to do another ranking video. I did a poll a few weeks back. First place was top 10 remakes, so I did that. Very controversial. One person really did not like that video, and so whatever. It's subjective. Film is subjective. Your opinion's never going to line up with mine, okay? But the second place winner on that poll of ideas I had, the second favorite choice was top 10 holiday themed horror movies, not just slashers, but horror in general. Although most of my picks will be slashers because I'm a slasher guy. So I will give you 3 honorable mentions. First honorable mention will go to a movie that I'm not even too fond of. I didn't like it that much, but hey, it's a holiday. New Year's Evil. I'm sure some of you will like this movie. This movie is on New Year's Eve. We got a guy who promises to kill a new victim at the drop of each ball across the United States. Like he's going to kill somebody, for Eastern Standard Time when the ball drops for people over there, when the ball drops in Central Time and Mountain Time. He's going to kill one person each hour. And interesting concept and cool looking mask is on the poster. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but cool looking mask. But the problem with this movie, why it did not make my top 10 list, is just that it's very lackluster in its kills, the gore, the writing, the acting. Just wasn't working for me. I found most of it to be boring. Second honorable mention will go to I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, this movie isn't incredibly focused on the holiday of, the 4th of July, but there's moments within the movie where you see like a 4th of July parade, and the movie does take place around the 4th of July weekend, kind of like Jaws. It's on this list because it's one of the few only slashers out there that even takes place on this holiday. There's not a lot of 4th of July slashers out there. You got Uncle Sam, which is like an ultra low budget, cheesy ass flick that's not worth your time. So I wasn't going to put that on the list. If I'm going to choose a 4th of July horror movie, I'm going to choose I Know What You Did Last Summer or Jaws. But anyways, moving on to my third and final honorable mention. This is an interesting one because it's not even a real holiday, it's a fictional holiday, and it's called Blood Night. This movie has Danielle Harris and Bill Moseley, and it's like a whodunit mystery. You're not sure if the killer is somebody at this party or somebody we don't know, like a Pamela Voorhees, or if it's the local legend back from the dead. There are some very gnarly kills in here. One that would probably make a top like 100 kills of all time. I really like that kill in particular. It's got some bad acting, but Danielle Harris is great in this movie, and just it's all about the kills in this film, just like a lot of slashers. But the kills in this movie are great, but it's a fictional holiday, so it will be my honorable mention. All right, now let's get into the top 10. Number 10 will be April Fool's Day. This is a movie that I actually just saw for the first time this year. It has a tremendous cast in it. You got all kinds of familiar faces. You got Jenny from Friday the 13th Part 2. You got Thomas F. Wilson from Back to the Future. You got the guy from Leprechaun. I'm blanking on the actor's real name, but there's plenty of people in this movie. They're all well-written characters. They're very likable people. The movie actually does center around April Fool's Day. It's got pranks throughout. They're constantly pranking each other, trying to one-up each other. And it's just a very fun 80s movie. And it's got one of the most memorable and famous twists of the 1980s when it comes to slasher movies. The only criticism I would have with this movie is that, unfortunately, all the kills are off screen and there's no gore, which is what you would want in a slasher movie, but you're not going to get that from this one because of the story that they're going for. Oh, and it has one of the best posters of all time. Speaking of awesome posters, number 9, Happy Birthday to Me. I've only seen this movie once. I need to rewatch it, but I remember this movie having awesome twist towards the end, multiple twists, stuff out of like a Mission Impossible movie. You know what I mean. I'm sure you've seen it by now. I don't want to spoil too much in this ranking, but there will probably be spoilers, so warning. This movie has ridiculous characters and ridiculous moments, things that would just not fly today in film, but it's entertaining. It's almost Italian horror influenced. You got the whole killer who's the mysterious killer wearing the black leather gloves and the shiny weapon. It's just a fun, cheesy, early 80s slasher with inventive kills. Some of the most bizarre kills you'll ever see. So, Happy Birthday to Me will be my number 9. Number 8 will go to Friday the 13th. This is a movie that created a holiday. This is the horror community's holiday. We celebrate this day. Whenever it happens, you look at your calendar every year. How many Friday the 13th are we going to get? How many marathons am I going to do on that day? This is a personal like horror community holiday, so I had to put it on the list. It created the franchise. It created a slasher template. It's got great kills in it. You got Tom Savini effects. You got the start of Kevin Bacon, his film debut. It's also got an iconic score and a very famous ending with Jason coming out of the water. So many just great things about this movie. I adore it. I reviewed it. I reviewed the whole franchise recently, so check those out if you haven't seen them already. But yeah, I had to throw Friday the 13th on this list, but it's not a real holiday that's national and international. It's not a real holiday, so it's not gonna go higher than this. Number 7 will go to really the only Thanksgiving slasher out there, and that is Blood Rage. I don't know of any other Thanksgiving movies besides Thanksgiving, but those movies are abominable. Those are garbage. They're not even so bad that they're entertaining. I just find them to be eye-rolly and dumb. But this movie is a so bad that it's good movie with very vicious and unrealistic bloody kills that are just fantastic. The effects, it's just pure 80s cheese. The bad acting, the odd music choices. That's not cranberry sauce. Funny line that he says time and time again.
It's not cranberry sauce, Artie. It's not cranberry sauce.
You got a cameo by Ted Raimi, who's selling condoms at a drive-in. Love the drive-in opening, and the fact that we see a kid kill people with a hatchet, and then the whole ending is very dark. It's just an odd, memorable ending, and yet dark and funny at the same time because of the situation. I just love this movie. I just saw it for the first time this year too. Got the Blu-ray by Arrow, and I will be reviewing it this November on Thanksgiving. You can bet your ass. So if you haven't seen Blood Rage, this movie also has like 10 titles, I heard. It has a lot of titles. But Blood Rage is the most famous title for this film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is a damn good Thanksgiving slasher. Although it doesn't need to take place on Thanksgiving, but because it does, it's gonna be on this list for sure. Number 6 will go to My Bloody Valentine. This is the best Valentine slasher there is out there. You got the Valentine 2002, but this is much better. I think the killer outfit in this movie, the breathing, the mask that he wears, the pickaxe, visually creepy. The atmosphere of the cave, or the mine really, is a great setting for this movie and really goes with the outfit of the killer. And I love the love triangle thing in the at the heart of the story because it adds to the mystery. You don't know if it's this boyfriend or this boyfriend. And the uncut kills are very cool. Now that we got them from Scream Factory, we actually get to see some of these cool, inventive kills on screen. The nail gun to the head, the guy being hung so hard that his neck pops off. This movie came out in that time when everybody was trying to make the next holiday slasher. This was like in 81 after so many other holidays. Graduation Day, Happy Birthday to Me, Bloody Birthday, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Black Christmas. And this is another holiday that they did, and this is one of the better ones. Number 5 will go to Trick or Treat by Michael Dougherty, if that's how you say his last name. This guy knows how to make a movie that's bathed in Halloween atmosphere. This movie is visually stunning. I love the shots and the cinematography in this movie, the way it looks. This gets you in the holiday mood every October. This is a must watch. It's beautiful. It creates a new icon villain in Sam Hain, whatever. Samhain, this guy who has a pumpkin face. He wears like the burlap sack over his head. He has a lollipop as a weapon. I love the silly stories within it. And like I said, the atmosphere with each one. They all have a little bit of a different tone to them. Some of them are a little bit more darker. Some of them are more hysterical and goofy and wacky. You got the wacky principal teaching his son how to carve jack-o'-lanterns out of human skulls and shit. And then werewolf transformations and vampires. It's got everything thrown together. It's the perfect horror anthology movie, in my opinion. I just adore this movie. So number 5 will be Trick or Treat. Number 4 will go to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I just really like the story overall in this film, how dark and just macabre it is. Essentially, it's about murdering all the children in America who are going to watch this TV program at 9 o'clock for the big giveaway. You got witchcraft and technology fused together. They're going to use these little chips on the back of masks to melt kids' heads and just have crickets and snakes come out of it. Just a gnarly visual that is. You got Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin, just very different and unique, and that's why it's so high up. It's got Halloween atmosphere too. That's good. You got kids trick or treating. I love that montage of all the different cities. The villain Cochran in this movie is portrayed very sinister like. I love his line delivery, his voice. This movie has grisly imagery that sticks in your head. The chick who has her face get shot by the beam, the cockroach coming out of her mouth. I just adore this movie. The ending is up in the air for debate. Like, did he win? Did he lose? Is your glass half empty, half full? Did he stop the madness? It's just a great ending. I love that type of ending where you get to just kind of debate and come up with your own ending. Like, I think he succeeded. Now I think he lost. So that's a good ending, and it has a catchy theme song that will definitely get stuck in your head. It's basically a ripoff of London Bridge Has Fallen Down. Number 3 will go to Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is just pure 80s cheese. It's so bad that it's good territory. I love that this movie focuses on the killer. We actually get to see his upbringing at an orphanage and just what leads him to that moment when he snaps. You don't see that enough in horror movies. They're usually in the background or in the shadows stalking. It doesn't focus on them. It's just about these protagonists, these cannon fodder people who are going to get taken out. In this slasher, we focus on the slasher himself before he becomes that psychopath and what led him to that. And I like that choice. And it's got goofy moments for sure, some cool kills, punish, and you got Linnea Quigley and her iconic death with the antlers. You get one of the most silly, goofiest montages with the oddest choice of music attached to it when he's like cleaning up the store and the boss is looking at him like, good job. It's just pure cheese right there. Punish. Number 2 will go to one of the most famous holiday slashers of all time, and that is Halloween. I know what you're thinking. What could be number 1? You'll find out. Number 2, Halloween. Nothing I can say here that hasn't already been said. I've already reviewed it, but so has everybody. This movie has one of the best scores of all time. It's directed by John Carpenter. The direction is perfect. The story is perfect. It's simplistic. You don't need any explanation about Myers and what makes him tick and what made him kill his sister at 6 years old. He seemed like he had the perfect family, just living in a normal household, and then just snaps for no reason, staring at a wall, not speaking for 15 years, goes on a random killing spree, chasing down this woman he doesn't even know. Until you get to the sequels, but sticking with the original, this is just a random victim stalking her. It's just very creepy. The atmosphere building with the score and the cinematography by Dean Cundey, who's a terrific cinematographer. He's done all kinds of movies, especially John Carpenter movies. But Dr. Loomis is a fantastic character. He's the exposition character who tells you what Myers is and that he's just pure evil. He's there to warn the town. He's Ralph before Ralph was ever Ralph. Like Ralph was a ripoff of this character. This is the guy to tell them that they're doomed and they don't know what's coming. Death has come to your town, sheriff. It's just the perfect holiday slasher, but there's one that I think is just as good, if not slightly better, and that might be controversial, but whatever. The Mask is genius. It encapsulates what Myers is, blank and emotionless. The characters are written to be very relatable. The girl next door, so just they're back and forth. You actually kind of care for these characters a little bit before they get picked off. It's just one of the best slashers of all time, but my number 1 will be Black Christmas. I've been wearing the clue the whole time as to what my number 1 was going to be. This movie influenced Halloween, very much so. It has the same type of opening. You got the POV killers walking up towards the house, picking off people one by one. This is the slasher template right here before Friday the 13th. in Halloween. But what puts this movie above Halloween? I just like the characters better. I like that rich Christmas atmosphere better. I think the killer is just as intriguing and mysterious as Myers, if not a little bit more terrifying, because he's running after his victims towards the end. He screams, he's maniacal, he does voices on the phone that are almost impossible. How is he throwing his voice like that? Doing like guys and girl voices at the same time. The phone calls are chilling, they give you goosebumps. The characters are very relatable and very well written and just funny too at times. You got the drunk girl played by Margot Kidder. You got Miss Mac, the alcoholic. There's good humor in the movie that doesn't get in the way of the tension building. It's just well placed to kind of relieve the tension a little bit. Like the cop at the police station, he's just comedy gold to me. I laugh every time I watch this movie. So I just love the colorful characters, the ambiguous ending, the mysterious killer, the rich Christmas atmosphere. It's very dark too, and the kills, while not being bloody or gory, are still memorable because of the way they're shot and executed. And you got the classic unicorn item thing that he's using, the stabber that gets brought back into the remake. And the whole hook thing, getting Miss Mac and pulling her up into the attic. The eerie visuals in this movie, the woman with the bag over her head and the rocking chair, that lullaby he's singing her, all those things put this right above Halloween for me. Love Halloween. This is not a knock on Halloween. I'm not saying Halloween is shittier or anything. It's number 2 for Christ's sake. So I'm not saying anything bad about Halloween. It's just that when it comes to the holiday itself, this is much more of a Christmas movie than Halloween is of a Halloween movie. Like the atmosphere in this, like you can tell it's Christmas. That's another little thing that puts this right above Halloween, is that I wish Halloween would have had a lot more of that, holiday atmosphere. But yeah, still great movies, love them to death. But Black Christmas, man, that final chase with Olivia Hussey, the killer, like I said, it's just very awesome. I love the mysterious and terrifying villain and Billy. To me, this is just the perfect Christmas slasher movie to watch every December with your loved ones. So that is my top 10. What is your top 10? I'm sure a lot of you will have Halloween at number 1, but surprise me. Put your top 10 in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, share with all your friends, and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.